chit chat. I am in my element, you guys. I'm at the park, and you can see in the background some beautiful Florida forest. And I'll flip the camera for you to see the view I have, because this is finding the place where you feel like nurtured and in peace and excited to be alive. It is vital on our healing journey, guys. It's again, we are healing with foods and beyond. So the reason you would see me streaming a lot from outside is because once it fills up my cup. I mean, the more time I spend outdoors, the more I feel into my purpose, and I just feel good as a human being. And the second reason why I'm doing a lot of live streaming from outdoors is to get you inspired to get outdoors. Even if you live in a busy city, you will find a park where you could go and or you can go and just ground yourself, find your peace, set intentions so you live in accordance with your higher purpose. So I'm gonna flip the camera for you for us together to just take 30 seconds to breathe and just be and enjoy silence and the sounds of nature. And if you are live, please let me know if you can hear me, because I decided to put the headset down here hoping that the sound would come out clear enough. And if it doesn't come, I would appreciate if you would let me know. No, I can't hear a thing you're saying. So now I'm going to flip the camera. Okay, so, and I'm even going to raise it up so you can see the river. I'll bring it back down. Now let's take 30 seconds of silence and set our intentions. If you are watching this live, think of the reason you may be getting notifications that Mihaela goes live. If you're watching the replay, again, set intentions and think of why and how you can benefit from what I'm sharing with you today in particular. And as you do that, I am going to set my intentions to what and why I am sharing with you today. Okay, take a deep breath in. If you are watching this from the outdoors, feel the breeze. The wind is picking up a little bit, so I hope you guys can still hear me. So now we're gonna dive into. So first I would like to share with you in a nutshell what the Smartsafedetox is. And if you've been following my work and what I've been posting lately, you could see that it had to do with one aspect of toxicity and detoxification. And primarily I talked about the first step into detoxification, which is reducing environmental exposure to toxins, or reducing our toxic overload by eliminating as much as we can of the toxins that we are exposed to. So that's just one phase. That's the phase of prevention. Gosh, the wind is picking up. I hope you guys can hear me. The actual act of detoxifying is again intentional, and it has 3 steps as well. So 3 steps, and with the pre we have 4 steps altogether. So the steps of the idea of detoxification is based on the premise that we are all exposed to toxins, much more today, 21st century, than even 300 years ago, not to say than our ancestral men and women. Because many will come and object and say, why do I need to detoxify? My liver does that, my body does that automatically every day. And I agree with you, it does. If you are healthy enough, the detoxifying processes and pathways are going on every day in your body outside of your awareness. There are 2 instances where you have to question if that's enough. One is if you are extremely ill, your ability to detoxify is compromised because the very organs that are involved in detoxification are compromised, because you most likely are not eating or absorbing the nutrients that are required to support the natural pathways. And 3 is because we are exposed to more toxins today than our natural built-in mechanism can actually dispose of. It's like where we think of accumulating more garbage in your house than you actually have the system of getting rid of. You don't have enough garbage trucks to come and pick up the trash. Therefore, the garbage either stinks inside your house or it stinks outside your house. Therefore, there's smell, there are rats, there is disease-fostering environment. So that's what's happening in our body. So we are exposed to much more, which most of all of us are today, than we can normally safely eliminate with a healthy detoxification system. Secondly, most people suffering from chronic diseases do not have a healthy, highly functioning detoxification system, and our diets are not supportive. They are not providing the nutrients that the system requires, and even if they are provided, if the diet is providing, if we're ill, we don't absorb. So here we have 3 major factors for which we want to put intention behind this process that we call detoxification. This is not a fad, it's not a trendy thing, it's a tool that you should know about. Like, I'm informing you that is something that's needed, and then acquire, have access to anytime you feel you need to. Again, someone that's been battling chronic diseases for 30-40 years may benefit from doing an intentional detox every month, like every 30 days. Someone that's relatively healthy, that's proactive and wants to prevent becoming toxic and ill as a consequence of toxin accumulation in the body, would do this maybe twice a year. So now that we understand that we need to detoxify, so what is a smart safe detox? Why is it smart? Why is it safe, right? There are many detox programs out there, but they're not all smart or safe. So what do I mean by smart? Smart means we actually look at what this detoxification means, and then we analyze to see if the action steps of a detox protocol are targeting each and every aspect of this detoxification process. So this is what I'm going to explain now. So detoxification has 3 steps. 1 involves the mobilization of toxins. Why is that? Because when we detoxify, when we embark on a detox program, we have in mind getting rid of toxins that have been stored, accumulated in our body, mainly these toxins are fat soluble in nature, and they tend to store in our fat cells, in our fat tissues. Also nervous, they can be in bones, they can be in other tissues of the body, but the ones we are primarily targeting with this program are the ones that store in our fat cells. So in order to eliminate those toxins, we have to release them from their storage, from the fat cells. So when we release them, they will arrive in our bloodstream. So now they are all over our body. We do not want them all over our body, because then they will just cause havoc in the body. So we want to take them from the body and send them to the headquarters of detoxification, which is the liver cells, the hepatocytes. Once they are inside the liver cell, then they go through a series of chemical reactions which require nutrients in order to be converted from their fat-soluble nature into a water-soluble nature, so they can be then eliminated or excreted from the body. So these are the three steps. One is to mobilize the toxins. Secondly, it's called to biotransform them. It's a biological transformation of an element from a state, a chemical structure state, into a different chemical structure state. Things in our body, in order to circulate, they have to be in a water-soluble form, because otherwise it doesn't. They just don't. They need special transporters if they are not like that. So that's what our body, liver does, converts the fat-soluble nature into water-soluble, non-toxic, and then they are excreted from the body. And so the third stage is the excretion. And how do we excrete them, or we eliminate them, is through three main, actually four avenues. One is through our stool, and that involves bile acids. So we want to, and each toxin, based on its chemical nature, will favor a different avenue of elimination or pathway of elimination. So certain toxins, certain chemicals will prefer bile acids, stool elimination. Others would prefer via, it's like water medium, via urine elimination, via kidneys, and others would prefer to leave our body via sweat, through perspiration. Some, the volatile nature ones, will be eliminated to our breath. So now that you understand like the big picture of what a smart detox is, so a smart detox means you would do, when you embark on this protocol, everything it takes to touch on or support every one of these stages. One is to mobilize toxins. What does it mean to mobilize toxins? It means breaking or burning your own fat as a source of fuel. And in the process of losing that fat, you release. So when the fat is burned for fuel, it also gets rid of its contents, the fat cell. So that's how we mobilize the toxins. So how do we burn our own fat? We've got to be in a state of that favors fat burning versus carb burning. So we would restrict carbohydrate intake. We would even restrict total caloric intake, and we will actually increase our physical activity. So we do put our body on a energy deficit state for an extended period of time to assure that we burn fat. And one of the main benefits of this detox program that most of my clients love is the fat loss. Easily 5 pounds. On average, 7-8 pounds. We had even 10, maybe 12 the most in 10 days. And that's mainly fat. Some of it will come back like a 2-3 pounds when you refeed, but most of it gets consolidated. So when you embark on a detox program, you want to ask yourself, is this program in congruence with is this program putting me into a fat burning state? Basically, that's one question. So then you know, oh, it's smart. It makes me burn my own fat, so I release the toxins. But then that's not enough. You can fast, eat nothing, burn lots of fat, and mobilize toxins. But then the question comes, the second question into the smart component comes and says, do I have the nutritional support, the actual nutrients that are required for that second stage of biotransformation of the toxins, so it gets from fat soluble to water soluble, non-toxic, so it can leave my body. So what are those elements? This is where it gets a little bit more complicated, right? Because you have phase 1 of detox, phase 2 of detox. Phase 1 is almost like multivitamins. Think of if you were to read the multivitamins on a bottle. That's pretty much the elements that you need. And then phase 2, it's rather complicated chemical reactions. So the first one are oxidation reduction reactions. The second one is conjugation reactions that require compounds to bind. So it's almost like you give a carrier to the fat soluble toxin. And in between these two phases, we have something we call the intermediary state, where the fat soluble is converted to an intermediary metabolite, which is far more toxic than the original product. And then if you are unable to take this intermediary compound and conjugate it, like put a cap on so it becomes stable and safe and water soluble, to eliminate it from the body with compounds like methyl groups and amino acids and gosh, what is in there? Glutamine. Let me see. I have my my notes with me because right now I'm totally running a blank. I can show you the visual, guys. Yeah, taurine, cysteine, N-acetylcysteine, methionine, glycine. So you have reactions like sulfation, glucuronidation, glutathione conjugation, yada yada. So this here, which you're probably going to see backwards, these are the complicated chemical reactions that happen in our liver cells when we convert toxins from fat soluble to water soluble to make it safe to eliminate from our body. So if we do not have the nutrients, especially for phase 2, that's a lengthy process that usually lags behind. What happens, we reabsorb the intermediary metabolites into our bloodstream, and that, my friends, leads to the non-safe component of our detoxification. That's when detoxification becomes retoxification. That's when people go on like rapid weight loss through fasting or even through some crazy diets where they don't get the nutrients that the body needs to detoxify, and they feel like crap, like almost non-functional, like flu-like symptoms, headache, nausea, diarrhea, whatever, you name it, muscle aches, all of that. And they're like, oh my gosh, I tried that, it totally didn't work for me. I was so sick, you wouldn't believe it. And I believe it because that's the non-safe aspect of programs that may mobilize, like juice fasts. You definitely lose weight when all you do is drink juices and you don't eat, any solid food. You will burn your own fat, but do you have the nutrients? No, you don't. You lack the nutrients for phase, all the amino acids that are coming from actual animal-based food. So, and then the third step is now, okay, we support maybe first two steps, the mobilization and the biotransformation. What happens with the excretion? What if we don't sweat enough? What if we don't urinate enough or pee enough? What if we don't have bowel movements? We try to detoxify, but all the poop stays in our cells. So you see how a detox program can become dangerous, not smart and dangerous, versus smart and safe and effective. So that is, in a nutshell, what we do in our 10-day Smartsafedetox program. We support fat burning, so you feel like $1,000,000 losing weight and feeling energetic like as no one's business with you. You're like blown away. What? How can I have all this energy? I'm hardly using energy. Then the foods we eat are like giving like a mega boost of the nutrients that are required for the second stage of biotransformation. And then with our lifestyle factor intervention that we do during these 10 days, with the sweating, with the exercise, with the caloric restriction, we support the excretion of the toxins from the body. So not only we collect the trash from the house, we bag it nicely, we put it outside in the garbage dumpster, but we have the trucks that come and remove it. So we are cleaning all around it. Now we have a clean, safe environment that allows the body to heal and thrive. So that is what we do in our Smart Safe Detox. We start on October 10 with a 7 days preparation phase. What does it mean? In the 7 days, you start working on the diet. You start working on adding activity to your physical activity to your life if you are sedentary at this point. We start working on ways in which you are going to induce sweating. And then, of course, we look into what supplements we buy, because there are some supplements primarily for the third step of the process, the excretion, some binders. We use some supplements to boost phase 2 detox, but mainly is boost, like the garbage trucks. And of course you begin to get the food and to prepare for the actual, so you have everything in terms of supplies. Now, this may sound daunting to some of you, but I have to tell you, this is the simplest detox program I've ever came across and personally done, and is the most effective. First of all, the meal plan is super easy. You do not have shopping list like the length of your arms. You don't have 21 recipes to look at. One recipe if you desire, and the rest is just like free-flowing, super easy. And once you pre-portion what you eat every day for 10 days, you literally do not have to think, oh, what should I eat today for lunch? What should I eat tomorrow? It's just simple. So what that does, it frees up an incredible amount of mental space and energy for you to focus on what really matters in life. Because there's no two ways about the fact that we do spend a tremendous amount of time and mental energy. A lot of our mental capacity goes into what to eat, how much to eat, how often to eat, was this good, wasn't good, how to prep, where to shop, oh my gosh, I have to clean, I have to, all of that. It's a lot. So when you do this, it just frees up mental space and physical time. So now you have time to look at what's important for you in life, what brings you joy, what can you experience that has nothing to do with food and makes your life richer. Because let's face it, most of everything we experience today is centered around food, and I believe that's the wrong way to look for experiences in our life. Now, with that being said, I'm adding an incredible bonus for those of you that are signing in October. Of course, my previous members, they have access to the bonus as well, because it's lifetime access, so I'm not gonna deny the bonus to the members that I already have. But for those of you that are joining now in October, you will not have to pay for this. Starting next live round, it will be an additional charge so the price of the program will go up because of this, because it will be actually part of the program. And this is called Soulandalas Creative Journaling Practice. So what does it mean? It means that you are going to set time aside for your creative therapy time. Yeah, I said that time. I started this relatively new, and it's maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks since I began the process, and I find it incredible in reducing anxiety and helping me ground and know what really matters, in setting intentions, in gaining clarity, in breaking through blocks and resistance. It is unbelievable. So because I feel its power firsthand, I decided this will be part of all of my programs, all of my work. My private clients I will add this as a practice. We all know about the power of journaling and gratitude and meditation and all that. This puts it all together. And guess what? We are all creative beings. And I always like to look back at how our, again, ancestors lived. And just go back 3 generations, my grandmother, my mother, because I'm coming, like from another time and era. Oh gosh, I hope you guys can hear me. I keep moving my headsets away. They had this practice of weaving, crocheting, embroidery. Women would get together, especially in the winter, because now was like a quiet time for everybody, was less work outside, and they would create all winter long. They would sit and create. By the spring, they had beautiful tablecloths or covers for their beds or rugs for the floor. And I am absolutely convinced that this is what kept them sane and not needing therapy or anti-anxiety or antidepressive drugs. I have no doubt about that, guys. The more we modernize our life, like with Industrial Revolution, and we just cut off the creative part. We are always, oh, you're not creative, oh, whatever, forget about art, you can make a living with art, look at you, you're terrible at painting or drawing or whatever. We put on ourselves or an outside imposed belief that we're not creative, we can't do art, it's waste of time. I mean, so many bad connotations on art, and that comes at a health expense, especially mental health expense. And I would say when we go back and slow down and give ourselves time to sit in front of a white paper, set intentions, grab a bunch of colors, and just let the mind and the emotions translate into forms and shapes and colors, it is incredibly healing. It is incredibly distressing, and it's like declutters the emotions. And you heard me talking about before emotional decluttering, which I've done early this year, which was fabulous. But guess what? That's like the detox. You do it once a year is not enough. You have to have a practice to continue to keep yourself emotionally decluttered. And when we think of declutter, we think of the things that don't serve us. We have negative emotions, we feel them, but we have to release them. We cannot store them inside our body, because that leads to changing our chemistry, leads to a huge contributing factor to disease. So going through a detox program like the Smartsafedetox programs, and that's why I'm adding an extra component to it, because emotions can be toxic, are toxic. So how do we deal with that part? So this is where the Smartsafedetox just goes to the next level by adding the Soulandalas Creative Journaling Practice. And it's not just that you grab a journal and you begin, journaling. It's a whole entire different ballgame. And here it is. I'm going to show it to you. So, and by the way, do you love this? Isn't this beautiful? So that's what I'm talking about. This is art. Some woman sat down and made this beautiful necklace. I don't even know if I can call it necklace. And look how much I enjoy just wearing it and looking at it. and it comes from Turkey. My husband bought it for me. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, thank you for appreciating my necklace. And now you can see I have a hard time seeing, but you can see the journal. So in the workshop, I will teach you how to make your own journal. I created this, guys. I started with a big sheet of paper. I wrote on it my intentions. It actually wasn't even my intentions. I had like a meeting with my inner wisdom, wise woman, wild woman, inner maid, all the women that live in me, because each and every single one of us have hold inside ourselves all these women archetypes, and they send me a message. I wrote it and then I painted on top of it. So as you can see, this is the cover. They're different. After I painted it, I created this journal, which is an accordion type journal. You see, oops, oh my gosh, I lost all my, I even forgot I had this with me. This is good. You can see some of my emotional decluttering work here. I was trying to show you that it is an accordion. So in the workshop, I will teach how to create your own journal that you will dedicate to your Smartsafedetox program, and it can go beyond that to your entire healing journey. This is my personal signature. You will create your own Soulandala, whatever comes for you when you're ready to sit down and create it. Basically, the cover, everything would be your personal signature. Then we'll have a page or several pages dedicated to setting intentions. To why are you in the detox program? Then, of course, we have all the course materials. You will print and add them to the journal, everything. And as you can see, it's not terribly lots. Then, as with everything else, like a map, we want to know where we are. We write down the start date, and then where are you right now? Weight, waist, hip circumferences, MSQ. This is an assessment tool I use with all my private clients and with my detox to see the level of toxicity and inflammation of the body at the start. And then anything else you are aware of happening in your body that you want to change. And then you just go and free flow journal. Then we're gonna have a page for your before picture where you're gonna print and frame a beautiful picture. This is like a template you guys will get, and you are free to create it the way you like it. Then you have your daily progress, and there, oh no, all my artwork goes, where you will keep track of your food, the water, the supplements, and then like bowel movement, urination, sweating, movement, all that. Plus a bunch of prompt questions to ask yourself every day. How do I feel today? How do I want to feel tonight when I go to bed? And then you will have this for every day of the week. You will create a template for you to monitor your progress, to journal your feelings, to journal your progress, to write your gratitude. Today I'm grateful for. At the end of the day, you always want to end with gratitude. So this is going to go in a workshop. I will teach how to make the actual journal, which is it's an amazing process. You see how I painted my pages with gold. It's fabulous. And this is a bunch of emotional work. As you can see on the, I journal first, maybe you can see the writing, and then on top I draw whatever comes at the moment. So it's a bunch of, and this I make it for me. I'm going to tape this inside my journal to separate things. But I have to say, it's an incredibly healing work. And then of course you have the journal has the second part, which can have a completely different meaning and purpose. You can do other things. Here I'm working on more art. You can see every day I sit down and create the Soulandala as part of my healing process. So guys, this is what I wanted to share with you today. I really hope you feel in with yourself, sit with yourself, and think, is this program for me? Am I willing to devote time and energy to my personal transformation and use the Smartsafedetox as one of the tools, the many tools that you will use throughout your entire mind-body transformational journey? If you choose to join the detox, I would be very much honored to support you, to walk you through the SOULandal Creative Journaling Process, through the entire detox, and I can only tell you, you will be happy and grateful that you said yes to yourself. It is saying yes to yourself. And before I end, I want to bring the cost in mind into the conversation, because I've been talking with friends like, we never know how much you charge. The Smartsafedetox right now with this bonus, I'm not charging for this, is $197. This workshop in and of itself would sell at the $77 at a minimum in a group. So it's a no-brainer, $197 with lifetime access, to give you access to a tool that has the potential to really transform the way you look at food, the way you function, to jumpstart healing and weight loss. It's just, again, if you think $197 is too much to invest in yourself, then I just stop here. I have nothing to say, nothing really to say other than maybe ask yourself, what's the cost of not taking action? How much time do you spend with doctor's visits? How much time do you spend with taking drugs? And how much time do you spend feeling lousy? What that costs? Being in pain, having no energy, feeling sad and depressed, guilty about over the foods you eat, just struggling. Like, what's the cost of struggling? I didn't go much into the actual benefits of the diet itself. I touched on this previously, but I will very briefly say we support detox, we support fat burning and optimizing fat burning metabolism for long-term success, bump in energy like nobody's business, reduction in inflammation and pain, everyone, even especially the people that already have pain. Powerful elimination diet for you to help you fine-tune your relationship with food, so you figure out what foods are actually contributing to your state of inflammation. These are just a few of the things you can expect to get in return from your commitment. And I even like better the term devotion. If you devote 17 days, 10 full days, like fully devoted, 7 with the preparation, 17 days to your personal self-care, and look at it as self-love, and invest $197 in your mind-body transformation, you will be forever grateful for making that decision. Thank you so much. Before I end, I'm going to show you the water one more time. And I want to invite you to fill in with yourself and let your inner wise woman and medicine woman send you a message, whether this is for you or not. I hold the intention for you. I see you strong, confident, powerful, and a beautiful, vibrant body with incredible energy for life. Thank you for joining live or watching the recording or the replay. Comment below any questions you have, any feedback, share with your friends, and I hope to see you inside the detox program. Have an awesome day. The link is going to be below this video.